The story begins with a giant ape named King Kong holding his jaw in severe pain because of a serious tooth infection. The infection makes it difficult for Kong to chew or hunt, leaving him weak. He can no longer attack prey directly, so he often uses traps to find food. One day, while searching for prey, Kong is attacked by a herd of wild boars. He tries to escape with all his strength, but the boars know he is weak. They chase him until they surround him. Kong pounds his chest and challenges them to fight. Just as one of the boars charges at him, it falls into a deep pit. It was actually a trap set by Kong. Kong then throws a heavy tree trunk tied to a rope, causing rocks to fall and crush several giant lizards. A few survive and consider attacking Kong again. To scare them away, Kong grabs one of the lizards and kills it. The others see this and run away. Kong returns to his cave with food, but the moment he puts a piece of meat in his mouth, his tooth starts hurting again. He puts the food aside. Soon, a lizard tries to steal. Kong is about to chase it when he hears a cry that sounds like his own. He goes to investigate and discovers a small bird that can imitate the sounds of other creatures. Kong gets angry, but then thinks there is no point in killing such a small creature, so he lets it go. Kong is the last of his kind, but he still hopes that one day he will find his family. For thousands of years, he has searched every day for his tribe, a family he may never find. Meanwhile, humans discover that there is another world beneath the earth where King Kong lives. Kong is the king of the underground world, while Godzilla is the king of the surface world. The two have been enemies for millions of years, and whenever they fight, massive destruction follows. However, as long as neither enters the other's territory, humans are safe. Godzilla spends most of his time sleeping, but if he senses a creature coming from below, he hunts it down anywhere in the world. One day, a creature from Hollow Earth attacks Rome. Its scent wakes Godzilla, and he travels to Rome to destroy it. A fierce battle begins, and Godzilla tears the monster apart with his atomic breath. Godzilla saves many lives that day, but he also causes major damage to the city. After finishing his mission, he sleeps inside the famous Colosseum in Italy, as if it were his own palace. He will only wake up when another threat rises from below. Meanwhile, Kong's tooth pain becomes much worse. He cannot eat properly or hunt. Since he has a good relationship with humans, he returns to the surface to ask for help. As soon as he comes through the portal, he lies down in pain. Dr. Elaine discovers that one of Kong's teeth has decayed because of an infection. She immediately calls a veterinarian named Dan, who has treated Kong several times before. Dan enters Kong's open mouth using a cable, but nearly passes out from Kong's terrible breath. Dan secures the infected tooth with a steel wire and gives Kong 3 massive doses of anesthesia. Then he pulls the tooth out with all his strength. To help Kong hunt again, Dan replaces it with a titanium tooth so strong that it could even chew through metal. Dan says, "Don't worry, it may feel strange for a while, but everything will be fine soon." But they do not know that a much bigger problem is waiting for them. Before Kong arrived, Eileen had received mysterious signals from Hollow Earth. When they decode them, they discover that the signals are being sent to Godzilla. This means someone below is asking for help, and that may be why Godzilla is so angry. To find out the truth, a team of scientists travels with Kong into Hollow Earth. A young girl named Jia goes with them because she is the only person who can communicate with Kong. Kong returns to his home, hoping to eat the food he left behind, but when he gets there, he finds that someone has stolen his food and that his home has become a massive chasm. To catch the thief, Kong climbs down into the chasm and discovers a new world below. There, he finds giant skeletons, proving that he was not always alone. The scientists also reach the area and find it completely destroyed. They discover a huge claw mark on a rock that clearly does not belong to Kong. Kong crosses a waterfall and moves deeper into the new world. In the fog, he sees a shadow much larger than himself. Thinking it is a threat, he prepares to fight. But when the fog clears, he sees a small ape. After thousands of years, Kong sees someone like himself for the first time and feels overwhelmed with happiness. However, when Kong reaches out in friendship, the small ape bites him and runs away. Kong follows him, but other apes suddenly attack. Several of them try to kill Kong together. Kong does not want to fight, but he has no choice. He picks up a rock and fights back. During the fight, one ape starts falling into a deep ravine. Kong grabs his hand and saves him, but instead of showing gratitude, the Yihun. Meanwhile, Godzilla destroys a power plant and absorbs all of its radiation. But it is not enough energy for him. He's preparing himself for a greater danger. He kills a massive Tatan and absorbs its energy, causing his color to change from blue to pink. Kong continues traveling with the small ape. When they reach a river, the ape senses danger, but Kong does not. The ape tricks Kong into entering the water. Suddenly, a giant serpent-like creature attacks Kong. A brutal fight begins. The creature wraps its body around Kong, but Kong outsmarts it and kills it. Kong catches fish and begins eating. The small ape is hungry too, so Kong shares his food. This helps the young ape realize that Kong is not as bad as he thought. Eventually, they reach a volcano. Kong sees many apes like himself. He should be happy, but instead, he sees that they are living as slaves. They are forced to work, and anyone who refuses is punished. Kong sees an old ape being beaten and decides to help him. He knocks down a guard ape with one punch. Everyone becomes terrified because this is like challenging the Scar King. The Scar King comes out of his hideout. All the apes shake with fear, but Kong stands in front of him without fear. The Scar King notices Kong's titanium tooth and realizes that the Kong is not from their tribe. The Scar King attacks Kong with a powerful whip-like weapon. A crystal is attached to the weapon, allowing him to control Shimo. A giant ice titan, Shimo can freeze anything with its icy breath. The Scar King orders Shimo to attack Kong. Kong tries to block the freezing breath with his axe, but his hand freezes. He barely manages to escape into a cave. The Scar King's apes chase Kong. Kong uses traps in the jungle to stop them. At one point, Kong gets trapped, but the small ape helps him by dropping rocks on the enemies from above. Kong realizes that the small ape has become his friend, but Kong's arm is badly injured. He reaches the scientists and collapses. Dan discovers that the nerves in Kong's arm have been damaged by the freezing attack. The scientists bring a powerful mechanical arm made for Kong. It attaches to his arm and begins healing it with medicine. Kong likes the new robotic arm. Soon, the small ape arrives and warns them that the Scar King is coming with his army. Jia tells Kong they cannot win alone and need Godzilla's help. Kong knows asking Godzilla for help will not be easy because entering Godzilla's territory could start another war. Still, Kong travels through a portal to the pyramids of Egypt and waits for Godzilla. Godzilla smells Kong and rushes in to kill him. A huge fight begins. Kong tries to explain, but Godzilla keeps attacking. Then Mothra appears and stops Godzilla. She tells him that Kong is their friend and needs help. Godzilla puts aside his old hatred and joins Kong. Meanwhile, humans try to close the portal using a special red liquid so the Scar King cannot reach the surface. But the Scar King and Shimo reach the portal. Shimo freezes the path, and Kong and Godzilla arrive to stop them. A massive battle begins. Gravity becomes unstable, causing everyone to float in the air. The Scar King tries to escape through the portal. Kong stops him while Godzilla fights Shimo. Eventually, the Scar King and Shimo escape through the portal and arrive in Brazil. The ocean water begins turning to ice. The Scar King is thrilled to see sunlight because he has finally reached the surface. Kong arrives and punches the Scar King so hard that one of his teeth breaks. Godzilla fights Shimo. The Scar King orders Shimo to freeze Kong, and Shimo traps Kong in ice. Godzilla attacks with all his strength to save Kong. During the fight, Godzilla grabs and breaks the Scar King's crystal. Once the crystal is destroyed, Shimo is free from the Scar King's control. The Scar King tries to get the crystal back, but the small ape smashes it with Kong's axe. Now the Scar King has lost all of his power. Kong grabs the Scar King and throws him toward Godzilla. Godzilla defeats him, and then Shimo freezes the Scar King. Kong throws him to the ground and destroys him. In the end, Kong, Godzilla, Mothra, and Shimo save the world together. Godzilla releases his energy into the sky and stops the Earth from freezing. Mothra repairs the damage caused to the planet. After completing his mission, Godzilla returns to his resting place and goes back to sleep, Kong returns to the Scar King's hideout with the young ape and Shimo. He tells all the apes that the Scar King is gone and that they are finally free. After years of slavery, the apes celebrate and accept Kong as their new king. The movie ends with Kong finally finding a family and becoming the leader of his people.